Hello budget friends! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Cassandra and today we are going to be going over my a little bit late second quarter numbers on my debt. So I've done one video like this before, obviously Q1, and I wanted to do this in a separate video as well because I've also sort of made some adjustments based on my changing priorities and what I decided to do with that, and that directly affects what I was able to pay off in the second quarter. So we'll just get straight into this. Okay. So if you remember from my previous video, I'll link that up below if you want to see that one first, although the same information is here. These were the debts that I had at the top of the year. I had previously paid down other debts, but this is just this year. So the main focus of this video, in terms of what changed, was this lovely credit card here. So this is my RBC credit card. I started off at just over $3,200 at the top of the year, and I had recently switched the type of card so that I could get this lower interest rate, because that was really digging into the money I was putting down when more than, I believe it was 19% or 21, I don't remember, but it's been this rate because of that card for this year. So let's just get into the numbers. So for the first quarter, this was the amount that I was able to pay down towards, not the credit card obviously, but all three of these. So on the side here, you'll see I've got a total, and that's going across this way. So that's whatever I was able to pay to my card that month, my $100 that goes to my student loan, and then my two bi-weekly payments combined. So these purple highlighted numbers tallied up for those 3 months was just over $2,600. So again, we move into April. I was able to pay $230, and these numbers are not going to make any sense at all. Like, it doesn't add up, because the thing with most credit cards is the day that the cycle is calculated tends to not be a solid month view. Like, it doesn't go from the start of the month to the end. So mine is very much in between 2 months, but I really wanted to see on my end how much I personally put in that given month, because that reflects in what I got paid and what I allocated from my budget. So for example, on the credit card statement, it shows that in January I paid only $64, but what that was is that was towards the beginning of January, and then towards the end of January I made another payment of $100, and so in that span of that month I was able to pay $164, but the numbers reflect that $64 being paid and then the adjustment for the interest. So that's why these numbers don't match up with what's being put, but it makes sense to me and I know what it is that I'm trying to track. So again, let's go back down here. Okay, so April I was able to do $230. May I was able to do $177.68, and it's not gonna let me, okay, I have to move the iPad. And then in June I did $280, but this again, it was actually $380, and I will show you the reason why that is. Bam, July. So currently the credit card is now at 0. And this is because I was having a really hard time with this credit card in particular, because it's the last one that I have to pay, and I was just feeling that it was just going to be such an uphill battle because of the interest rate. My car loan interest rate is like 1%. My student loan, the two different loans are, you know, so this was, you know, 19+% for the longest time. And even at the reduced rate of $12.99, it still just felt such a big undertaking, because I knew with all the other bills I had to maintain and putting money away for savings, it was just going to take a really long time, and more money was being eaten up by the interest. So what I decided to do was, instead of paying this down and then ending up paying more than what was remaining, which was this $14.62, I decided to use my emergency savings to pay for the remaining balance. And this is the discrepancy here that I was saying. So at the, I think, last day of June, I was able to pay this $120. So that's why it seems like it's off by that amount, but that didn't come through in that pay statement. So again, it's a little wonky. Now, I know what most of you are probably thinking, that it's for emergencies and stuff like that, and that is true. But for me, previously, I had a full-time position at my job, but it was temporary in the way that I was covering someone else's position until their maternity leave was done. But in fact, for the last few months, I've had that job permanently now, as the person decided not to come back. And being that I had already done the job for over a year, I didn't have to go through any period of like a trial period to say, after 3 months, is your performance adequate enough to keep the job? So I feel very secure in the job that I have. And I mean, emergency savings is an emergency savings for the simple fact that anything could happen. But I feel like I will be able to meet my goals quicker by knocking out some things that are just holding me back in a bigger way, because my emergency savings is my emergency savings. Now that this is paid off, there's no more debt snowball being put towards this. This is done. So I can put bigger chunks than I could before back into the emergency savings, and I'm not worrying about doing that at a certain speed because I'm not worried about interest in a negative way. I know other people have rearranged their finances and decided to plan to save for something, and they decided instead of just having that money sit there, they were going to take that and pay something off. So again, I mean, I didn't want to leave myself with nothing. I do still have over $500 in my emergency savings, but my new plan now is one of the two savings challenges that I started this year is going to be going back into this. I had mentioned before that one is going towards vacation, and then one I wasn't sure what I wanted to do yet. So what I will do is at the end of the year, depending on the circumstances at the time, either I will be depositing $1,000 or about $1,300 back into that emergency savings, so I won't feel the full weight of paying this big of a chunk. So I'm just giving myself basically more time, because about this amount is what I would probably end up saving by the end of the year, so I don't feel too bad. And you know, with all the other savings accounts I have, with all the other money I have saved, I mean, I do as a last resort still have my credit cards, so if worse comes to worse, I'm not gonna be stuck with no options. It just might not be the best in the long run. But anyways, that's my long-winded way of saying this credit card is done. And even though it took some time to think over, I am really excited that this is done, because this also reflects a time when I was not focusing on myself in a positive way. I'm very much a impulse shopper, in the way that when I'm not feeling good or if I'm depressed, sometimes I just kind of like, you know, do what I do, don't look at it, and you know, and then eventually I'm like, okay, I can't be doing this. Let's see what the damage is. And this one was very high for a very long time. So I'm glad to have this in my rear view mirror and have that done. Now, this is, because I've closed other cards that I've had, this is my oldest standing card. So I'm not 100% sure if I want to cancel it outright. I'm going to wait anyways, because I'm assuming there's going to be that last little bit of interest from the following month. So I want to make sure that it's fully squared away in case there's a little something at the end. And other than that, I wasn't sure if I wanted to either cancel it or just maybe have something annual that I have come out on this card just to maintain it, so I can still have that credit history of having accounts that have more years behind them. This technically is going to be part of the third quarter, but we are in July now, so, and that was sort of what I wanted to explain to you guys so that it's established moving forward. But at the end of the second quarter, I was able to save just over $2,000. So I feel like we're making pretty good progress. I know the amounts are the same every month for these, but I haven't yet gone in and just checked to see the beginning and ending balance, because there is interest. Taking the amount that I had before and minusing the $100 wouldn't give me the ending balance because of that interest. So I still have that part to do, but I at least know the amounts I did pay, which to me is the more, you know, fun part to track and see progress wise. Okay guys, so we can, let's get more of a red color here, and we can cross this out. Ah, guys, that feels so good. Debt number 1 is gone. Now that that's done, obviously my next goal is going to be knocking out my student debt. Obviously I've been paying these down this year, so these are not the current numbers, but this was the numbers at the beginning of the year. But I want to get this done. I really hope if I make some extra payments here and there, that I might be able to get the majority done the rest of this year, and then I feel like this will be next year's project. Okay guys, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little different than my usual cash stuffings, but I hope it gives good insight into working with what you have and not being afraid to change things up, because I feel like I definitely am hard on myself sometimes with all the changes I make, and I flip-flop on ideas and things that I want to save up for, and I get rid of some and I keep some and I change some. But I think this was a great step forward, and I'm excited to continue on. I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.